Alright, so NOVOCAINE released this Friday, and I just got done watching this film on the big screen in theaters. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and discuss NOVOCAINE. Let's go. NOVOCAINE is a new action comedy from the directors Dan Burke and Robert Olson that stars Jack Quaid. When the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, Everyman Caine turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected strength in his fight to get her back. Now, of course, in this film, Jack Quaid is playing the character of Caine, a bank assistant manager with a genetic disorder that causes him to not feel pain. So as you can imagine, that's a fantastic setup to an action movie. And with that being said, I'd love to start with my positives for NOVOCAINE. And for my first positive for NOVOCAINE, I'm going to start with Jack Quaid himself playing Caine, aka NOVOCAINE, inside of this film. Now, first things first, I of course know Jack Quaid from The Boys TV show, one of the most popular TV shows out right now, and I'm sure a lot of people that are going to go see this movie found Jack Quaid through this series the same way I did. Now, how does he do carrying his own feature film as the lead star? I gotta say, he did a fantastic job. I loved seeing Jack Quaid carry this movie. His humor and comedic timing from The Boys show definitely carries over into this film, and he plays this everyman character role so well that I think a lot of the audience are going to be able to see themselves in this character. And also considering that since Caine has a genetic disorder, he of course grew up sheltered by his parents with no background in combat sports, so it makes it even better getting to see a character such as this be the lead for an action film. It's exactly what you wouldn't expect, which is why it works here inside of this movie. Now, of course, us, the audience, knows that this character can't feel any pain at all. So when you're watching him inside of these action scenes, there's an extra layer of humor there, and there's an inside joke that only the audience and the character of Caine would know going into each and every scene that his opponents in this film don't end up expecting. Now, with that being said, there's a lot to love here, so let's get to my next positive about the film NOVOCAINE, which of course would be the writing. Now look guys, the writing inside of this film, it's sharp, it's clever, it's witty, which allows the writers and the directors to tell this story to the audience without getting in their own way. There's fantastic comedic timing here with the dark humor inside of this film, tons of dark humor, especially with the physicality of this role, being as he's involved in all of these action scenes, but he can't actually feel any pain, right? So you get these scenes where he's getting the shit beat out of him. He's putting himself through hell to win these fight scenes, but he doesn't feel any of it at all. So you can just laugh about it as he fumbles his way through this movie. And this plot of a bank assistant manager chasing after these dangerous bank robbers who kidnapped his love interest inside of this film is just extremely interesting and intriguing. Now let's move on to my next positive with this film, and that is going to be the love interest herself, Sherry, played by Amber Mid-Thunder. I think she did an amazing job inside of this film as kind of the co-lead here to Jack Quaid. I think their chemistry on screen is fantastic. You can believe that these characters would actually be together and would actually be able to relate to each other on a human level. And I think she plays a great Juliet to his Romeo inside of this film. Now, for my final positive for the film NOVOCAINE, we're going to touch on the rest of the supporting cast because they were all fantastic, such as the character of Simon, played by Ray Nicholson, who is like this psychopathic villain character inside of this film. It's over the top, it's funny. I love the way he portrayed this character. Let's give another highlight and shout out to Jacob Batalon, who plays Roscoe inside of this film, the best friend of Jack Quaid's character, Caine. I loved his role inside of this film. I thought he was a great additional character to this movie who adds to a lot of the comedic scenes inside of this film. This is of course the guy in the chair from the new Spider-Man Disney trilogy. He plays Spider-Man's best friend inside of those movies too, which is kind of funny, and I think he does a great job inside of this best friend who's also helping out the main character role. Now, with that being said, let's move into my negatives for the film NOVOCAINE. For my first and quite honestly my only negative with this film, it would have to be the motivation of our main character. That being that while he does hit it off with his love interest the way this movie portrays it and the way this movie shows the audience, this is essentially a one-night stand for the character Nate Caine. This is someone who he has a nice date night with, they hit it off, and then suddenly he's thrust into this position where he feels, obligated to put himself in the face of danger and go out of his way to go and save her, with the high risk potential of death hanging over his head the entire way through this film, which quite honestly, I feel makes no sense. I feel like no guy is going to go to this length to get this girl back. They would have just let the cops handle it, which he definitely doesn't do inside of this film. So it does come across, a bit silly once you really put this movie into perspective. But with that being said, let's go over my overall review for NOVOCAINE. Look, guys, this is a fantastic action comedy. I really thoroughly enjoyed my theatrical experience with this film, and I feel like you're going to also. It's witty, it's clever, it's fun, it's creative with its action scenes. There's this fun yet simple revenge plot that I think everyone in the audience can understand, and I think this is going to be the perfect popcorn movie with a layer of substance and value to it. And quite honestly, the rewatchability of this film is off the charts. I could see myself rewatching this movie for years to come. So with that being said, let's drop my official rating for NOVOCAINE. I give this film a 9 out of 10. It gets the 9 out of 10. Quite honestly, easily one of my favorite films of 2025 so far. And by the end of the year, I could honestly see this being on my top 10 list of movies this year. So I think it's safe to say that I would recommend you guys go check this film out. I would recommend everyone watching this video goes to see this in theaters. Bring a friend. And if you guys don't know what we do here on Demigod ENT, we do film and TV reactions and reviews. So if you're interested in any of this movie-based content, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next movie review, guys. Peace.